Hello, so I'm making my summer special as G-Wash requested, which means that you all have to make at least one summer special as well. So I'm making this video to tell you about my very strange weekend in Crested, Butte. So I went up there to play in a soccer tournament, a bunch of adults, because I hang out with old people. For instance, everyone's old. I don't know. Gave a hitchhiker a ride from Gunnison to Crested Butte. Was talking to him from New York. Went to school in Western, and then went and got his master's degree. Now he's a lawyer, so he's probably at least 30. And then there was this other guy that played soccer, Andy the Mandy, and he was very attractive. And went to the bar with him and some other guys after our first game, and was talking to him, and he said he was from Summit County, and I was like, oh, I think we ran against them in cross country, and he was like, oh, really, when did you graduate? And I was like, last year, and he was like, oh, wow, and I'm like, yep, I'm a child, so, anyways, I was playing in the soccer tournament with all these people that were all of a more advanced age, some more than others, and so after on Saturday night after the tournament, we had a pasta dinner, and this dude, Drew, who's, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Rob Dog's dad, but more like hippie. I don't know. And so he's pretty old. He's probably like 40, but he doesn't have a wife and a child because I think he still thinks he's like 20. And so I was helping him clean up all the stuff, and me and two other guys from our team were helping him clean up stuff who are also pretty old as well. And then we were hanging out behind Tiacali Tamale, which is where he worked, and he was like, do you guys want a beer? And I had already drank at the thing because he had a keg there, and I was like, you know what, I'll just tell them I'm 21 if they ask, and no one asked. So he was like, yeah, and so I was drinking a beer with them, and then Drew was like, Dana, would you be offended if we smoked some marijuana? And I was like, no, that's fine. And so then we went up on the roof and looked over into the little town of Crested, like the little main street in Crested Butte. And they were passing around a blunt. And I did this thing that we talked about in psychology where you do a behavior that you don't want to do to be socially correct. And so I felt like it was just proper to take a hit from the blunt. And so I did. And then it was not like enough to fuck me over or anything, but I was just super sleepy and like and so then I was sitting there and we were talking about soccer and stuff, and then I started to feel like I was hanging out with Mr. George and like Mr. Lightsey, like teachers, like because that guy Drew was the assistant coach at the high school, and I just felt like it was like, oh, I feel like I'm smoking weed with Mr. George, and I was like, this is too weird. So I told him I had to leave, and then I had to walk, or I just said I was gonna go. It was like 10:30. And I had camped in the town park because I saw that all these people had put up tents in there, and I didn't really have a place to stay, and I didn't want to drive back to Gunnison, so I set up my tent in the town park. And then I realized the reason that there was all those tents there is because they were having a 24-hour bike race where the riders go on this route around Crested Butte for 24 hours from 3 o'clock till 3 o'clock the next day. So there were bikers riding right by my tent all hours of the night, and luckily I did smoke some weed because it makes me really tired, so I was able to fall asleep. And I slept until like 3:30 in the morning, and of course woke up by more bicyclists. And yeah, well, and then that's what happened. So I don't know, sometimes I just wish that I was like 21, like a real adult, but nope, I'm still just a child. So hope you all are enjoying your summers, and get to work with Cole next week. This week coming up, camping. So probably nothing exciting will happen. If I build it up, then I'll just be disappointed like last week where I thought he was going to come play soccer with me, and he didn't. But the good news is I get to watch the USA game. And also this video is under 5 minutes, which I was a little shocked about. So that's old people, Crested Butte, and other weird things that happened. Bye.